How's everybody doing? I'm Jay Elsen, and this is Coyote Corner. Well, tonight we will touch on track and field and catch up with Amy Williams in the first place USD women, but we begin with the surging South Dakota men. Craig Smith's team came into last week with a chance to avenge a pair of Summit League losses, and the road seemed like just the place to do it. The Coyotes, who already owned a league-best 6 road victories, began their latest quest Thursday night in Omaha. But the fast-paced Mavericks would throw the Coyotes in a big hole early. C.J. Carter with a 3 in transition. Then it's Jake White from Mike Rostampur. White had 8 off the bench. Omaha outscored USD 21-7 over the first 9 minutes. Yotes start to come alive. Trey Burnett with the bump and the bucket. He scored 9 of his 11 in the first half. Casey Kasperbauer, the first of 3 trays on the night. That helped pull USD within 1 by the break. Omaha starts to separate again in the second, and Rostampur in full-on beast mode at this point gets the putback, and later, big fella showing off some range. The Mavs senior put up 24 points, 15 rebounds on the night. Coyotes down 11 with 9 minutes to go, but they find a spark in Sekou Harris. The junior accounted for 9 points, 1 assist in a span of 5 minutes to help USD tie the game at 67. Fast forward to the final 10 seconds now. Yotes trailing by 1. Tyler Larson, no. Eric Robertson, yes. Robertson scored 6 points on the night, but those 2 were the only ones that mattered. South Dakota comes back to win in dramatic fashion, 74-73. Robertson gets the game winner and a lot of the glory, but you've got to tip your cap to Sekou Harris. He was perfect in the second half, hitting all 5 shots he took en route to a season-high 12 points. Tyler Larson also had a big night. He finished with 20 points and 7 rebounds. That win gave Larson and company a little extra swagger for Saturday's rematch with Oral Roberts, and it showed up in the box score. The Coyotes scorched the Nets in Tulsa, shooting 62% in the first half and a season-best 55% for the game. USD, which led by as many as 17, rolls past ORU by a score of 83-70. The Coyotes got a combined 56 points from their top 3 scorers, with a team-high 20 coming from Kasperbauer. Trey Burnett also reached double figures, finishing with 10 points and a career-high 16 rebounds. Burnett is now averaging 12 points and 7.6 boards over his last 5 games. The Coyotes got more good news on Monday as senior guard Tyler Larson was named the Summit League's Co-Player of the Week. Larson shot a combined 56% in the wins at Omaha and Oral Roberts over the weekend. He averaged 19.5 points and 6.5 rebounds. Larson becomes the 3rd Coyote to earn the award this season. He shares it with North Dakota State's Lawrence Alexander. The weekend sweep gives the Coyotes some much-needed momentum as they prepare to close the regular season at home. We'll talk more about that with head coach Craig Smith next.
Coyote Corner on Midco Sports Network is presented by Billionauto.com.
A little road redemption for the Coyote men as they complete the weekend sweep with wins at Omaha and Oral Roberts over the weekend. And here to talk more about that is USD's head coach Craig Smith. And Craig, considering how you lost to these 2 teams the first time around, how gratifying was this weekend?
Our guys have played with a chip on their shoulder, and we felt like we let both games get away at home, where we led most of the game and felt like we outplayed them. And to go on the road and get a weekend sweep in conference play, you're really gaining ground on the competition.
Now, you found yourself in a big hole early at Omaha on Thursday. It was kind of the ultimate opposite of what you experienced when you played them here. But how'd you manage to get things turned around?
Yeah, we got out of the gates really slow, down 21-7. And during that timeout, we told the guys, hey, if you're going to get down early. Yeah. And just try to stay composed and just keep playing. And it was not an unfamiliar spot. That's happened to us quite regularly. So our guys have been there, done that, and knew what it'd take to get back into the game. And we were able to fight and scratch and claw. We played some different guys, and we were able to cut it to 1 at halftime.
Tyler, pretty good all night, had 20 points for you. But it was a couple of guys off the bench that came to be maybe the biggest keys in this one. Yeah. Sekou Harris had a great day. Eric Robertson, both of those guys made big-time plays down the stretch to help complete that comeback.
Yeah, Harris really sparked us. He scored 12 points in the second half. on 6 shots for the game. But he made a great play in the first half that I thought really sparked our comeback. They make a steal. Casey kind of cuts the kid off, and they miss a layup, and Harris blocks Rosenpower's shot at the rim. And then Rosenpower fouls Harris, and I thought just it kind of ignited us. Harris just was a spark plug the whole night. And then Robertson was fantastic. Really was a presence in the paint on both ends of the floor.
You brought up Jim Valvano in your post-game comments. How did he play a role in this one?
Well, we were in a bit of a rough swing there, losing back-to-back at home, and then the following week we beat Western and lose at North Dakota State. And it wasn't so much we lost, it was the way we lost. We showed no spirit, showed no energy, didn't show any kind of heart or resiliency. And it's one thing when you lose, but when you lose like that, it's unacceptable. And so, you get to this time of year, it felt like we just had to kind of change the stimulus. And early in the year, I remember Sekou Harris was like, "Coach, who's Jim Valvano?" I brought his name up on a shoot-around. And it was like, "Well, do you know Jimmy V?" And he goes, "Oh, yeah, I know Jimmy V." Well, it's the same guy. And so, we pulled out the Jimmy V speech from the ESPY Awards when he won the Arthur Ashe Award. And we just tried to give our guys a different perspective on things. And, at the end of the speech, he says, "Never give up, never give up, never give up." And it was just a message that we felt our guys needed to hear.
And it obviously was applied toward the end of that game as they make the comeback and get the win in Omaha. And it felt like the momentum carried from that win right over to Saturday's game in Tulsa. This was a pretty impressive offensive display, something you had been waiting for.
We came out on fire. We shoot 55% for the game. Which was our season best. But in that first half, we were at 70%, I believe, going into the last media timeout. We were up 17. And then we kind of let it fizzle away. Our team doesn't always handle prosperity great. And the guys were kind of hanging their heads a little bit at halftime, but really jumped out to a great start again to start the second half and really never look back. The Oral Roberts game was completely, I know it's the old cliche, but it was a team win. And our quote-unquote big three, Larson, Boss, and Casper Bauer, led us in scoring. But I thought the players of the game, James Hunter was great early in that game. I thought Eric Robertson played his best game of the year, was a rim protector, had 3 block shots, did an unbelievable job with post defense. Trey Burnett was phenomenal. 16 rebounds, like who does that? And I thought Trey Norris had a heck of a floor game. Just really was under control, handled their pressure very, very well, and made the right decisions all night long.
This next Summit League game coming up Saturday against IUPUI. I know you guys were disappointed with that performance. Ready to get the Jags the second go-around too? Yeah,
we looked like Edward Scissorhands out there that night. We couldn't pass and catch and make a decision. And Johnny Depp, when you play like Johnny Depp, it's a struggle. But, it would be the same mindset. They're long and they're athletic. And they roll out 11 guys every single night. So it's a good matchup for us. I know we'll have a chip on our shoulder, and it's going to be great for us to finish with our last 4 at home. And, we got to right the ship, so to speak, in terms of playing at home. But we got a really good chance here to make a nice run to end the regular season.
All right, well, we look forward to seeing how things play out this week. Good luck to you.
Thanks, Jay.
All right, well, the USD women made it an even dozen at the Dakota Dome with a win over Omaha last week. We'll show you the highlights from that one right after this.
Coyote Corner on Midco Sports Network is presented by Billionauto.com.
Welcome back. Well, the grind of the college basketball season can claim even the most durable of players. At USD, the most recent example is Taya Heemiller, who saw her string of 56 consecutive starts come to an end last week due to a leg injury. Heemiller would miss her second straight game Thursday as the Coyotes played host to Omaha. USD has had control of this series, winning 10 of the last 11 meetings with the Mavericks coming in and 5 straight at the Dakota Dome. Lisa Loeffler didn't play against Omaha the first time around, but she made an immediate impact in this one. Drops the jumper here and then finds some space in the paint. Loeffler scored the Yotes' first 4 points. The Mavs hung tough for much of the first half. Maddie Robson with a nice look to Michaela Shaw, 2 of her 18 points. Game tied at 23 with 7 minutes to play in the half, but Heidi Hoff changes that right here. The offense really started clicking from there. Off the Omaha miss, the Coyotes ride I-35. That's Nicole Seekamp end-to-end for the lay-in. And it's Rachelle Contreras from NBA range. She was 4 for 5 from downtown. 7th time this season she's hit at least 4 threes in a game. Second half, Omaha just trying to stay in it. Taj Kelly cuts the deficit to 13. She led all scorers with 20. But the Oats just too much in this one. Great balance once again. Loeffler, great dish to Seekamp. She paced the Oats with 16. Bridget Arns added 10 off the bench. The Coyotes put 6 players in double figures and improved to 12-0 at home with an 83-69 win. USD dominated the glass in this one, finishing plus 15 on the night. That allowed for 19 extra shots and 13 second chance points. The Oats have now won 5 straight. They're 20-5 overall and 10-2 in the Summit League.
A lot of teams might have one player that they just depend on them, and then if they get stopped, then what are they going to do? And we do have players that could do that on any other team. But with our team, we are so balanced, and any given night anyone can go off that, if you want to try and stop us, you're going to have to stop all 5 people on the court because everyone's a threat.
With that, USD holds a 2-game lead with 4 to play, but they've got their work cut out for them this week. We'll preview their tough 2-game road trip with head coach Amy Williams when we come back.
Coyote Corner on Midco Sports Network is presented by Billionauto.com.
Well, with their win over Omaha last week, the USD women became the first team in the Summit League to reach 20 wins this season. It's also the first time the Coyotes have reached that mark under Amy Williams, and she joins us now. Amy, anytime you hit 20 wins in one season, it's a big deal. That's kind of a benchmark number for basketball programs across the country. But what's it mean to you?
Well, I feel like I just feel honored. I feel proud to be the leader of a team that's accomplished that, and 20 wins is a great accomplishment, and we're very proud of that. It's certainly not one of the goals that our team set at the beginning of the season is let's find a way to get to 20 wins, but it's kind of one of those things that as you're working towards the goals that our team did set, it's one of those benchmarks that kind of come along the way, and so certainly a great step and proud of our team.
Well, you get there with that Thursday win, 83-69 over the Mavericks. Great balance, once again, offensively. 6 Coyotes reaching double figures in this one.
Yeah, I mean, we've said that multiple times this year, but our team is playing the best when we have lots of people kind of stepping up and contributing, and that was very evident for us on Thursday, and just great balance, lots of people coming in and contributing, picking up things, finding ways to score against Omaha's zone and knowing kind of where those shots are going to come from, and then stepping up and being confident to make those plays.
And again, anytime you get those extra contributions off the bench, it always helps. And you look at Kate Liveringhouse, Kelly Stewart, Bridget Arns, all of them part of that balance.
Absolutely. Our bench, we talk about this, is that the best games we've played this year and the best wins we've had great contributions from our bench. And that's not just, with points, but, coming in and finding a way to make a hustle play or get us rebounds or bring something to the table for our team, and our bench has done a really good job.
This was the second game playing without the service of Ty Heemiller. Obviously, it's a big absence in the lineup anytime you don't have her out there, but a couple of the girls that have really stepped up to absorb some of those minutes, Heidi Hoff, who's inserted herself into the starting lineup, Kelly Stewart, both have been valuable off the bench for you all season, but both really have stepped up and helped fill the void left by Ty.
Absolutely, and we've talked about finding ways to just have everybody find a way to bring an extra something to the table to kind of help in Ty's absence, and I just feel like they've really embraced that. Everybody's asking me, Coach, what specifically can I do today to help make up for Ty and not being here, and it's just a great attitude that you see out of those kids, and particularly increased minutes for Heidi Hoff, Kelly Stewart, who have both contributed in bringing some offense or rebounds or whatever we need, defensive consistency to the table, and Jayla Jackson kind of coming in and playing a few more minutes at that point guard position, and everybody just wanting to find a way to contribute for our team.
All right, well, you bring a 2-game lead into this week's schedule, but on that schedule, you've got 2 of the most difficult places to play in the Summit League, and it starts Wednesday at Magnus Arena in Denver. Obviously, that's a place given your experience there last year, you know just how difficult this place is.
Right, absolutely. I mean, we know that it's a tough place to go play against a team who really, has a tendency to surge towards the end of the season. So, we feel like, they knocked off the Jackrabbits in there last week, and we know what they're capable of, and it's going to take a very special effort for us Wednesday to come away with a win.
And from there, it's on to Frost Arena in South Dakota State on Saturday. The Jackrabbits 5-0 on their home floor against Summit League opponents this season. That's impressive enough, but how they've been doing it just kind of makes you double take. Almost 30.5 points per game in those 5 wins.
Yeah, I mean, they've been dominant at home, and everybody in our league is really trying as hard as they can to take care of business at home, and so that's something that they've done a great job of, and it's going to be a tough environment, but what a fun environment, what a great rivalry game to be a part of, and we're excited about that game as well.
All right, well, good luck to you.
Thanks, Jay.
All right, well, it's been a record-setting start to the indoor track and field season at USD. We'll hear from a couple of these standout performers right after this.
Coyote Corner on Midco Sports Network is presented by BillionAuto.com.
Welcome back. Well, even though it might not feel like it outside, the University of South Dakota is very much in the middle of track season. Indoor track season, that is. Over the first 5 weeks of the 2-month winter campaign, 2 Coyotes in particular have stepped up and stood out above the field. For more on the Yotes' fastest and strongest, here's Alex Heiner.
The common ground shared by the University of South Dakota's Kyle McKelvey and Teivaskie Lewin isn't obvious, at least not at first. McKelvey is about as local as it gets after growing up 30 miles from campus in nearby Beersford, a town over 2,000 miles away from Lewin's hometown of Montego Bay, Jamaica. One throws heavy things a massive distance, the other sprints over obstacles at high speeds. So what's the connection? Well, for starters, both arrived at USD hungry for top competition.
I just wanted a chance to compete Division I, and I can do that here, and I can do that here just as well as I can do it anywhere else.
My aim was to end up at a Division I college. I came here with high expectations, and I just trained hard, and here I am just doing what I do best.
The best from Lewin and McKelvey have made them 2 of the top athletes in the Summit League. McKelvey has been setting records since his prep days and hasn't stopped since joining the Coyote program in 2012. The senior has 4 conference shot put titles and a discus crown to his credit, though the throws he's putting up this indoor season rank as some of his and the school's best to date.
Last year outdoors at the conference meet threw 63 1 3/4, which set that state record, and then last weekend here in the Dakota Dome we set the what we call the indoor and our indoor school record and the indoor state record there too with 60 feet 5.5 inches.
I'm extremely happy with where things are going right now. I think we can add a couple more feet and make a push for the national championship.
Lewin won the Summit League 60-meter hurdle title last February, and he's on pace to repeat this winter. His fastest time of 7.79 seconds is not only the best in the conference this year, but it's also one of the best in the nation.
He's ranked 8th in the country right now in the indoor hurdles, which the top 16 go, and we feel like that's certainly a distinct possibility. We've never had a male athlete at the indoor national meet, so that would be something we're really looking forward to.
The junior might be a hurdle specialist, but he showed off his range of skills last spring when he and McKelvey combined to help the Yotes win their first Summit League Outdoor Conference championship. Lewin placed in the top 3 in 5 different events, but this indoor season, he's staying focused on his main race.
Being nationally ranked is more important than getting hurt or trying to compete in events that really doesn't matter right now. And I think for the coaches, the biggest thing is to keep me healthy and to get me to that national meet.
Both Lewin and McKelvey are at the peak of their powers, and even though their backgrounds and their disciplines aren't exactly the same, their level of confidence that South Dakota can win its 3rd straight Summit League Indoor Conference title certainly is.
My teammates, we're going to push through it, and hopefully we come out successful, and we're just going to do our best.
I think, as long as we do our thing, we can do it. I don't think we have to do anything special. I don't think we have to do these crazy performances. I think we just need to go out there and do what we've already done. I mean, I would love to have a 3rd straight. That would be amazing.
Well, the Summit League Indoor Track and Field Conference meet is the 27th and 28th of February in Fargo. But while McKelvey and Lewin will look to be on the top of the podium as individuals and possibly as teammates there, you can't blame them for having one eye on a meet 2 weeks later in Fayetteville, Arkansas, that being the NCAA Indoor Championships, Jay.
Yeah, no question that both men would represent the university well. Thanks, Alex. Well, turning our attention now back to hoops. After starting their string of 4 straight home games to wrap up the regular season tonight against NAIA opponent Avila out of Kansas City, the USD men returned to Summit League play on Saturday afternoon against IUPUI. And as we heard Coach Smith mention earlier, the Yotes certainly hoping for a better showing against the Jaguars this time around. USD shot just 35% and turned it over 18 times in a 65-50 loss to the Jags in Indianapolis on January 24th. Meanwhile, the USD women face a very tough road with games at Denver and South Dakota State. The Pioneers are up first on Wednesday night. The Coyotes cruised to an 82-56 win in the first meeting between the teams on January 28th, holding the Pioneers to just 5 second-half field goals. Then it's on to Frost Arena, where SDSU has outscored its first 5 Summit League opponents by an average of 30 points per game. USD has had its own struggles in that building, with the last Coyotes win coming all the way back in 1990. They'll try to change that Saturday afternoon in a game that will air live right here on Midco Sports Network. Brad Newitt and I will have the call for you, with coverage tipping off at 4:30. By the way, if Amy Williams and company managed to sweep the weekend, they would clinch at least a share of the Summit League title. Either way, we'll be back here to break it all down for you next Tuesday night on another episode of Coyote Corner. Until then, I'm Jay Elsen. Thanks for watching.